It's all about inclusiveness of everybody at schools.
We've got to become global citizens going forward.
Yeah, you see me, you hear me, I belong. It's threaded through everything.
I just think it's giving them an awareness of, you know, differences, which is what needs to happen as they grow up.
It's about giving children an opportunity to look at what the world believes are quite complex subjects through books. And through books they get to come across people that they may not come across in their walks of life and have really rich discussions about actually what it means to be different and how we celebrate those differences.
But it isn't about tolerance or just inclusion, it's about really lifting people up in whatever kind of sense of their difference. And I think that's a really important difference, and it's very palpable within this school. So if you're neurodiverse, or if you have additional needs in your learning, if you have special needs at either end of the scale, if you need extra support because you learn differently, in whatever way that is, you are celebrated and supported at whatever level you're at.
It's not just a matter of actually putting up the slogans, you know, which, yes, you can see everywhere, and knowing that the kids can actually talk about it with confidence and actually hearing the staff. So, yeah, it's threaded throughout everything, and it's so nice that the school is diverse, whether it's languages, races, religions and sexualities.
I think it's important for children at the earliest age to understand and learn that, you know, we're all equal. We all deserve to be treated in the same way, with fairness. So I think it's a big positive thing that they teach people from a young age.
As adults, we're surrounded by lots of different people and lots of like unique people, and we've got to embrace that. We've got to teach children that from a young age.
That you can actually celebrate, whether it's Black History Month, International Women's Day, and you want to be able to make the most of all of them. To me, it's important that, yeah, the no outsiders, literally nobody is an outsider.
It's massive. My boy, the boy that's gone off to high school, initially he struggled to fit in wherever he went. He saw himself as different. He was always coming home saying, I'm different, I don't fit in. And when these outsiders lessons started to come in and they were sort of interweaved into everyday schooling, he started to think, well, actually, maybe I'm not, and maybe this is good to be unique and different. And it's set him up now for high school, and I feel like we've got this child that's got a lot of confidence now going forwards, and he feels part of a community, but also being unique to himself.
I can only refer to my child really, and what they come home and tell me, and obviously his attitude is, you know, everyone's equal, there's differences don't matter, and that is the world really we want children to live in, isn't it? And that's what, you know, we want them to learn.
So I've been really impressed with it, because what I think is really important is that actually she understands that everybody's different and that everybody has a voice, and that's important. And I think she's very inclusive of others, so she makes sure that she involves everybody, and she's acceptant of them as well.
We're surrounded here in a library which has very recently been put together, and Lois and I were involved in choosing the books, and we were really careful to make sure that there was a whole section about celebrating difference. There's a lot of publications around ethnic diversity and obviously the prevalence of Black history, Black British history, so that was quite pertinent to the library, but also in terms of neurodiversity, and I think it's really important that's reflected in sort of children's fiction and non-fiction. And it's certainly included in the library, so the legacy of this library will go on to support children with the No Outsiders agenda for many years to come, hopefully.
I love the books. I also love the discussions that they lead to in the home environment.
I think it's done in such a lovely way as well through book form, that it's done very gently and gives parents, if they want to explore further.
It's not just a matter of tolerance. You know, tolerance was a word that was used 80s, 90s. You know, it's inclusion. It's actually knowing that people aren't scared of it. People can actually talk and actually, you know, you are no different. So as long as you're aware that, and it's the books that are actually in the school, it's how they actually approach subject matters. And yeah, at no point have I been made to feel any different from any other parent.
I know that it's based on stories, and through stories the children get to explore themes of difference and celebrating that difference and discussing how difference impacts them.
You could see how they were very broad and that you could dip into different topics throughout them. The stories are underpinned in there, and the different ideas that come across through the stories are fantastic. They can go different ways. I know one of my boys came home and he was telling me about a story about two aardvarks. And his teacher had likened it to people all going to a football match and all the things they had in common. But from that, then we discussed a bit further all the different differences that we come across in our society and how acceptance and tolerance is important. So it's a really good one for sitting at the dinner table and having a little chat about.
So, I mean, to me, love is love. You're not actually teaching, sexual things to children. You're teaching love, you're teaching respect. You're saying that nobody actually, you're enjoying the diversity that we actually have in life. And that's what enriches everything.
I think children are never too young. I actually think that the earlier we usualise and normalise these things, the better it is for the world. I know with Mahi and Bella, they see them as books, but actually through those books they're able to see everybody as equal, and hopefully that will mean that they are able to be part of a world that's more equitable.
The context of the lessons, as far as we're aware and as we've seen, is that it's very much book orientated, learning about stories, having conversations about, age relevant stuff, and obviously it's good for them to experience that and become aware.
Nowadays we've got social media and older siblings and older family members, so children know a lot more than we realise, and I think it's really important actually if we educate them that actually we're giving them that understanding of society.
My little one's in nursery and he comes home and talks about stories that I haven't heard before and talks about other people and talks about different beliefs, and I think it's had a really positive impact throughout the school.
For me, I think it's really important for my son to be happy with what he's doing and not feel that he has to conform at a young age in things that he doesn't really enjoy. So if he's not good at a particular sport or enjoys another one, then he's got to feel comfortable that that's okay. And I think other children then learn when they see other children doing different things, different activities, living in different ways. That all builds their understanding about people and about differences, and that actually it's to accept it and to learn from it, and that it's a good thing, it's not a bad thing. So I think it's really helpful for them to do it as young as possible, so it just opens up their eyes, really.
9 times out of 10, children are much more tolerant than grown-ups, and it's only people are taught to be intolerant. So that the earlier that you start having conversations with children about supporting people with difference or different experiences, the better, because they will embrace them and become much more reliable citizens than probably most of the people in our generation. We could kind of tell from when we were children, when we were at school, and how people were spoken about. There's no I've noticed with my children, there's no question about homosexuality at all. When I was at school, people were still making jibes in the playground. I think that's real progress. There's a lot of work to be done still, of course, but it feels like the younger generation is bringing this to the fore in a positive way.
I think this is a fantastic initiative for schools to sign up to. There will be nothing but positive support for you as a family unit and for your children at school and their peers also.
Don't worry, trust the professionalism of the teachers that are there. When you embark on a programme like No Outsiders, the training is there, the teachers know their things. And also, you know, actually, it's not very complicated. When the girls come home and we're talking about these things, it's very much about love, and everyone's invited and everyone's welcome, and celebrate.
I would encourage them to, first of all, have a look at the web pages that a lot of the schools are doing and read the information behind it first. Teachers are trained to deliver them in a very kind and caring way, I would say, and to also look to the children's futures as well, and that, you know, we don't live in this little bubble. We are in a global, you know, we are global citizens at the end of the day. And to have a look at the books themselves, have a read through them and just look how gentle and how lovely they are and how informative they are, but done in a really child-friendly manner.
I think that once you can demonstrate how positive the programme is with the children and how neutral it is, it's not preaching to them, it's not telling them that one way is better than another way, it's simply telling them that there are lots of different ways that people can be and lives that they can lead, and I think it will inspire them for the future. So my advice to other governing bodies is learn about it, and once you've done that, I think that you should get involved.